microphone on.
We want to start the meeting. Good morning, everybody. We want to start the meeting with do roll call.
Okay, we have Ms. Tornatore,
Here.
Mr. Orion,
Here.
Mr. Lilly,
Yep.
Mr. Desai,
Here.
and we have board chair, Mr. Delange is excused, alternate Chris Pollard is excused, and the vice chair, Jenny Groot, has resigned.
So this is a nomination of the pro tem chair, myself, so that I can take over this morning for temporarily.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion? Good morning, everybody. The planning and zoning minutes from May 13th, 2024.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the May 13, 2024 meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is a quasi judicial hearing, regular site plan RSP 1202-3048, Shores Depot, all aboard storage, interior storage facility, 2616 South Atlantic Avenue. Glenn?
Madam Chair, if I may, before we get started, because this is a quasi-judicial hearing, if I could just put on the record a few things.
Okay.
This is not as formal as a court proceeding, but there still are formalities. Everyone that speaks has to be sworn in. So before we get started, Madam Chair, may I swear in anyone who's going to speak, or Madam Clerk?
No, you go ahead.
You're good. Anyone here today that will be speaking for this matter, you have to be sworn in. So please rise, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for these proceedings this morning? Okay, you've been sworn in. Also, Madam Chair, if you could poll the members and see if there have been any ex parte communications involving this matter?
Have there been any ex parte communications on this matter with
Nope.
anyone?
Nope.
And one last announcement, any decision that is made may be appealed, so we have to create a very good record. So if there are any denials, those denials should be based on competent and substantial evidence, and you should point to the record the reason for your decision.
Thank you.
And that's all my comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Glenn. Good morning.
Good morning, planning board members, pro tem chair, and the city attorney Waters. I'm Gwen Herstein, city planner for the city of Daytona Beach Shores. The project we have before you is the Shores Depot all aboard storage proposed for 2616 South Atlantic Avenue. And this is a regular site plan numbered 1/2023-048. Ms. Andy. On the slide.
Issues over there? It's not wanting to change slides.
Ingress, egress, to right. It's on the wall. This way. You know, adjourn. Oh, there it is.
Thank you. Glad we got that out of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. The location of this property, as I said, 2616 South Atlantic Avenue. The owner applicant is Mr. Andy Clark, manager of 2616 Atlantic LLC. Property size is 1.56 acres, and it is in the zoning district GCRD, the General Commercial Redevelopment District. The project coordinator is engineer Garrett Bogart of Newkirk Engineering. And this property is situated basically on South Atlantic, immediately south of Beachcomber Park and just north of Cowlicks, if you're familiar. The current land use is retail and a self-storage in the existing building, which is going to remain. The rest of the property is vacant land at the southwest corner of the parcel, and directly west of the existing building, there is some paving that exists. Proposed use for this property is an additional 3-story, 36,104 square foot, that's gross floor area, for another self-storage building, plus to continue the uses of the Sherwin-Williams paint store and the self-storage uses in the existing building. This is the site location, area-wide, a big zoom out. You can see us currently sitting approximately at the Green Star, and the development site, as I said, on A1A, approximately 0.9 miles north of where we are at the moment. This is a more zoomed in overview of the development site. You can see that it has a condominium just south of it, Sea Haven Townhomes, west of the property, plus continuing up to the northwest corner of the development site, and Beachcomber Park just north of it. Here's an aerial view of the development site, showing again everything you just saw, plus across A1A there are condominiums and motels in the TRMF1 zoning district. This is a street view of the site location. It is not an extremely recent picture, as it has the branding of the previous business still on the sign. This is the proposed site plan, which you would have seen both in your notebook, and also if you had wanted to see a physical copy, those were available, the large plans on paper. Couple things to point out. You can see the existing building, and that will stay with the footprint that it currently has. The blue is the proposed building footprint. The footprint itself is 12,450 square feet. And you can see the setbacks identified on the northwest and the south sides of this new building. 20 feet on the north, 20 feet to the west, and 29.8 feet to the south, all of which meet or exceed required setbacks. I also want to point out that at the south of this, close to the South Atlantic label, toward the bottom of the plan page, you see 2 little blue boxes. There currently exist 3 entrances into the site, and there will be just these 2 blues remaining once the development is completed, if approved. Proposed elevation, this is the east facade. This is what you will see part of, because there is that existing 1-story building that will block some of the lower portion of what you see. But the tower should be visible from A1A and some of the other the higher elevations of the property or the building. West facade, a little bit different. There are some elements that were requested and provided, looking like windows with shutters. And again, there is a 6-foot wall currently west of this building, so some of that will also be blocked. The north and south facades of the proposed building are shown here, again showing the tower figuring prominently to the north facade. The site plan summary analysis you can see here. The uses for an indoor storage facility, which is allowed in the GCRD district zoning district. It's allowed by special exception, and the special exception allowing this was approved March 13th, 2023. Building height is proposed at 32 feet. There is a maximum allowed of 35 feet, so that meets the requirement. Lot coverage allowed is 35, and this will cover 34.6% of the lot. And that will be total lot coverage, not just for this building, including the existing building. The lot coverage will be 34.6. Parking, they're required to have 29 spaces, and they are proposing 35. And as you can see, the setbacks have been met. I can see they're a little offset, so let me just review. The proposed setback of 176 feet meets the 20-foot required setback. The proposed rear setback of 20 feet meets the 20-foot required setback for the rear, the west of the property. The north side has a proposed or a required setback of 10 feet, and they are meeting along the entire north side at 10 feet. However, the part that abuts the Sea Havens, through that special exception, one of the conditions is that there be a 20-foot north setback, a buffer, basically, in that area, and that has been provided. The south side, there is a 29.8-foot proposed setback and the requirement, I'm sorry, a 10-foot setback. I switched them. The proposed setback is 29.8 feet, and the required setback is 10 feet there. The plan is consistent overall and item by item with the Daytona Beach Shores Comprehensive Plan and meets all land development code requirements. Talking about the landscape plan, the proposed landscape plan, again, we just zoomed in a little bit with a similar view to the site, showing you again the setbacks as they are proposed. The special exception that we referenced just a minute ago that allowed this use in this district. Two of the conditions, there were 8 conditions total, and we will talk about more about those in just a minute. 2 of those spoke specifically about required landscaping. Number 4, the requirement was the condition was to position the building to create a 20-foot side yard setback from the north property line, and they have done this. You see, it doesn't get to a 10-foot, meaning only a 10-foot setback, further past the building, and that is well past where the park starts, and you're no longer abutting the Sea Havens. And also number 8, one of the criteria, number 8, provides 6 palm trees per 100 linear feet on the north and west property lines. Both of these criteria will be met or exceeded by the proposed plans. Quick landscape plan analysis of the 30 trees proposed, only 12 were required. Of the 2 required species of tree mixture, actually 7 different species are being utilized of tree. And the buffering is also consistent with all land development requirements, as is the entire landscape plan. Quickly, this was the list of 8 conditions provided by contingent for special exception approval. There were 8 of the 8, 7 of those could have been met within this site plan, and all 7 were. There's one that could not be met, and it deals with lighting being no higher than the first story. So that one is going to be pending building permit application submission, and so it's still a requirement, but could not really have been addressed by the site plan, and we expect to be addressed later. So of the 7 which could be, all 7 of those have been met. Additional requirements, the project is consistent with the Daytona Beach Shores Comprehensive Plan. The public notice requirements have been met, and the requisite staff review has been conducted, and based on that approval, Staff recommends approval as presented with the conditions identified in Exhibit H, which is page 50 of your packet, and similar to that list that we just reviewed of the 8 conditions. I do believe that members of the applicant's team are here and wish to speak. Does anyone have questions for me before I step away?
Thank you, Glenn. I don't have any questions. Do any of you have questions?
I was told not to.
Thank you very much.
But the lighting is going to be approved later.
The lighting will be approved later and will not be forgotten.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good job.
Hopefully we can be clear.
Good morning, Joey Posey, 420 South Nova, attorney for the applicant. And just to make clear on the record, yes, we have no intention to deviate from the special exception as approved, so all conditions will be met. I thought that'd be important just to say, and if there's anything we can do or answer, we're happy to. Andy Clark's here, the owner, and you know his name very well. He's runs a number of these facilities, and he runs them very well. And we also have the engineer team available too, if there's any specific questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
I'm going for Mr. Clark. I agree with your attorney. You do build some nice looking properties.
Thank you.
I see you are the car wash people, one of the two doing all this. Do you have an agreement in writing with the ice cream owner's property line to share that ingress egress?
Well, yes, the agreement was pending this final site plan because we needed to have a site plan in order to include in the agreement. And so we have a cross parking access agreement that's in place. It was done like 40 years ago, and it's the south half of my property and the north half of his property that both of those have parking and access agreement, those parts. And so we're going to continue to provide the parking that we currently provide, in the site plan. But that's where we're at. We needed to have this approved in order to finalize that agreement because there was no plan as to what I was proposing.
Is that with his father who owns the property, or is with the guy who runs the business? You know?
Primarily, we were talking to Dan, who runs the business,
Yeah.
but obviously it's the owners of the two properties, the cross parking access.
I think his dad's out in California, if I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Just try to get rid of any problems before they arise.
Sure. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
That's all I got.
Is anyone here from Sea Havens? Just wanted to know if any people were here from the Sea Havens project place. No? Okay. Given no more questions, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to recommend approval for the Shores Depot Olive Wood Storage Interior Storage Facility Project Site Plan, RSP 120230048, as presented with the conditions identified in Exhibit H.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I guess congratulations.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, I guess you want to discuss November's meeting? Does anybody have a problem with, I don't know, November 11th is Veterans Day, so we can't do that. November
I
4th.
have no issue with November 4th. I just want clarification. Did I hear you earlier that said the vice chair has resigned?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So are we going to be voting for a vice chair?
When we have a full board,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that will be on the next agenda.
I would probably be interested in it again. I think. So, anyway,
Do you need a motion for November 4th?
Just a consensus.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor for November 4th meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any board comments?